Edwin Sanchez is a playwright, film and TV scriptwriter, a novelist, playwriting teacher, and mentor, and he is the author of the novel Diary of a Puerto Rican Demigod. Let's hear it for Edwin Sanchez.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, this is a monologue play. It's called Pops, and the character is Tomas, and he's in his grief counseling session. The year is 2001. Can I just say I hated Lucy? I used to have to watch her with my pops. He would call her La Colorada, the redhead. He thought she was so funny. He'd come home from work late at night, sneak me out of bed, and we'd watch I Love Lucy reruns. Now, when I was a kid, that was kind of cute. But the older I got, the more tired it got. You know what I'm saying? When my father wanted to be funny, he'd walk around the apartment saying, "Lucy, splain!" My father's English was pretty bad as it is. Lucy, splain. Funny, Pops, laugh riot. Parents should never be allowed to try to be funny. So one night he comes home, drags me out of bed again. I'm so not in the mood. And he's sitting there laughing. You know about how Ricky used to laugh, like he's pronouncing the laughter? Ha, ha, ha. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I finally snapped. Man, why do you think that's still so funny? You've only seen it like 100 times. My father got real quiet after that, and I felt terrible. So, I started trying to make it up to him. I was laughing really loud, but he didn't dare laugh anymore. I think my father thought I was smarter than him, so if I told him he shouldn't laugh, then he shouldn't laugh. He went to bed early that night. He had an early shift the next day at the restaurant where he worked as a busboy. Windows on the world at the World Trade Center. He didn't come home the next day. Or ever. I had to go with my mother to all these government agencies to translate for her. But there was nothing they could do. They would look at us and say, he was a busboy, not a citizen. My mother would look at them and say, please, splain. And they would look over her head to me and try to be polite, roll their eyes, and try to get us out of whatever government office we were in. Busboy, not a citizen. We had the wake in our apartment. No body, of course. Just a picture of my pops. He was smiling in it. All our neighbors and relatives came. The priest even came. I stood facing away from my father's picture, from the laughter I had silenced. My mother sat on the couch with people trying to comfort her. She cried quietly. I turned around, walked up to my father's picture, and out of nowhere, it started. Are you tired, run down, listless? You poop out at parties. The entire room came to a dead hush. The answers to all your problems are in this little bottle. My cousin started to scream with laughter. My uncle looked like he wanted to kill me. My mother just stared at me, but I couldn't stop. I was by Lucy possessed. I started doing Lucy, her greatest hits. Lucy in the icebox. Lucy as a showgirl with a heavy headdress. Lucy in the chocolate factory. Pretty soon, everybody is laughing so loud you can barely hear me. The priest says, do Lucy in the wine vat. Like now I'm getting requests. I look at my mother and she is crying so much, laughing, that tears are streaming down her face. And when I finally break, when I can't take it anymore, I cry like Lucy did when Ricky caught her doing something she shouldn't have. My mother has to work 2 jobs now. so we can stay here, because that's what my father wanted. You know, the busboy, not the citizen. There's no plaque to him or nothing, and no one ever mentions him by name. But I like to think that every time there's an I Love Lucy rerun on television, that it's a tribute to my pops. And baby, that Colorado, she is on 24 hours a day.